Oh hey y'all, and welcome back. My gosh, it's gonna be a good video today. Listen, if y'all don't follow me on Instagram, look at what I got. This is a Philodendron caramel marble. I just got this yesterday. I didn't expect it. I think I was expecting like a week or 2 weeks, but the seller was like, hey, it's easier if I just like drop it off as opposed to shipping it, which I'm all for. It's winter time. And I can't take how beautiful this plant is. It's an exciting video because I'm going to take it out of the substrate. The substrate looks fantastic, by the way. There's a lot of, it looks like bark, cocoa husks, perlite, like large pieces of perlite. Like it looks like a really good mix, but y'all know that I want to transfer a lot of plant into LECA. Don't know if I'm going to do it this one today. There's a chance, depending on the root system, I might chop it. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. And I'm excited. I'm going into this new era of growing plants in LECA again. Getting a lot of plants that were previously like expensive or unattainable. Remember, I was telling my in-laws on the weekend and I showed them the plant. I was like, this used to be 4 digits. And like now that's in tissue culture, you're seeing a lot of babies. I specifically got this one because it's big and because it's a top cut. Look at that. So I'm hoping, and for all we know, this could be a mid-cut and this is the new growth point. If this is the new growth point, I mean, look at the variegation. I'm happy with it. Like these are all the things I think about when I'm looking for a caramel marble. And I wanted one with more green. I know there's a lot of specimens that have a lot more cream or pinks or whatever. When I saw this one, I was like, do you know what? This one's perfect. This one's perfect. Okay, to be honest, I am a little worried just because, you know, I see this a lot with arid mixes specifically, where sometimes you're taking really good care of your plant, the roots grow. And for example, in that like pocket of air that it's in, the components around it, so the cocoa coir, not cocoa coir, the cocoa husk, the bark, the perlite, like it's not wet enough, so that space around it dries out. I feel like that's gonna be a thing here. And like, if the roots aren't great, I can't put it into LECA. Like I'm gonna have to wait, probably put into water so there's enough substantial roots growing. I did see this root up here, which, where are you at? There is a root here, hang on to that stuff. So let's just jump into it. Okay, what else do I wanna do in this video? Wow, I mean everyone, look at this. This mix looks fantastic. I feel like people that have mixes, like arid mixes, this is what their mix looks like. I'm already worried. I do see some nice branches. They're a little small though. This is a top cut. I can see it. Look, this is the top cut. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. So it does look like it was a single root over there. Yeah, it makes me a little worried that it's so close to that part over there. Was that the part that I saw? Because I can't see it anymore. It was. Oh, what's happening here? Oh! I don't know what that was, but okay, well looking. It scares me a little bit. It scares me a little bit. Okay, we're not chopping it. We're not chopping it. See, this is why, like, I was expecting a lot more of the pinks. Do you see the pink root over there? Okay, I'm just gonna go to the sink for a second, just wash off. It's so hard to wash off this stuff. And then we'll see what we're gonna do after. Okay, I am back. It was probably 15 minutes that I was at the sink trying to get as much of the substrate off. So I'm gonna show you the roots and just the roots over here. So there are some really good ones and there are some really like not great ones. With it having just a single root and then it having it branched like this, it makes me slightly worried about putting it into LECA. But I'm going to just like do all the things that I know to do and we're just gonna hope for the best. I kind of do like that there's nothing up here where the root is and then there's branching at the bottom. When you're transferring your plant into LECA, it's a case-by-case situation. You have to look at the roots first. And depending what the roots look like, it changes what you're gonna do. So in this situation, we have one aerial root, lots of good branches down here. Best case scenario, put this into LECA. It branches down here, it branches up here. There's a new aerial root that grows. from this part, and that grows into the LECA. So that would be the best case scenario and the plant's fine. But growing plants, I always try to think of the worst case scenario. So the worst case scenario is all this root system rots. There isn't a new growth point here, or sorry, a new aerial root that grows here that can sustain the plant, or this part, when I switch it to LECA, rots. So there's a lot of things that could go wrong. Because I think of the worst, I then change, you know, what's going on. It'd be different if there was another root system, for example. It'd be different if there was another aerial root popping out already, but there isn't. So since there's a fear of the root system just rotting away, even though there's a lot of good branches, and like specifically like these few down here, that looks amazing. Because if this part doesn't make it, there's a chance that this part might branch new roots in the LECA. And third thing is try to submerge this part. Because once philodendrons grow, there should be a growth point coming out of here. Oh, that might be one. Is that one? It kind of looks like a pimple. Is that one? I don't know. I don't know if that's one. It might be one. Okay. Oh, good to know. So I'll submerge that part. I'm using the 6-inch self-watering planter. So it's like a black net pot with slits on the side, and then there's a wick at the bottom. This is the cache pot where you could put the water and nutrient solution. I have my pre-soaked LECA. It's probably been 20 hours that this LECA has been soaking. And just laying root system. And like I said, I really want to make sure, oh my God, it seems like that might be an aerial root, so we're gonna try our best to submerge it. So I made sure I covered that place where I think that's an aerial root. And regardless if that isn't an aerial root, then as a plant grows, it will eventually push out roots from that node. I think I am going to give it nutrient solution. I know a lot of the time I say the plant doesn't need it right now. It doesn't need a blast of nutrients, and sometimes it could be harmful for the plant. But seeing that this is a pretty big plant, I'm just gonna do it. I don't know. Can you believe this is pretty crazy? It's pretty crazy. My new nutrient solution, I'm gonna put it probably like not quite a third of the way up, maybe like an eighth. Just because I know that small layer of LECA at the bottom, I just need to keep that part wet in order to keep the rest of the LECA wet. I know there's wicks at the bottom, but after seeing a lot of my plants and those other planters, the LECA drying out at the top, even though I soaked it overnight, I feel like I just need to make sure. I'll put this in a really sunny area where there's a grow light as well. At this point, I mean, the plant was healthy when I got it. So really touch the plant, feel the leaves, feel how they feel, just because this isn't a clear planter. And even if it is a clear planter, sometimes you can't even see what's happening just because the LECA is in the way. This is the time. You gotta feel it. This is when the plant was healthy. This is when the root system was taking enough water to sustain these leaves. Like you can feel they're well hydrated. Because moving forward, if you notice a dip, like if they feel weaker, like knowing that I can easily go like this, I don't know if y'all can see, bend it and it just comes back. That tells me that it's well hydrated, but like if in the next couple days, for example, you see it not doing that, then you know that the roots are obviously not effectively pulling in water, which means there's a potential for rot. At that point, I usually trust the process. I kind of make sure that the lighting's great, which is usually over 1,000-foot candles, bright and direct light always with new props and new transfers. Regardless what substrate it is, just making sure you trust that substrate. So I know I trust the LECA to have enough moisture and to have enough air pockets for the plant to be fine. Or you can panic and you could cut you can cut this leaf off, which I mean, it's so gorgeous. I really don't want to cut it off. You can cut this leaf off just because it'll be less stressful for the plant. The plant needs to focus on roots, not necessarily on sustaining this foliage that much. So eliminating a leaf will first of all release auxin, which is a hormone that is pretty much a growth hormone. So that might help it if it's, you know, not doing well. Initiate that growth hormone into the parts of the plant that need the growth, so the roots. It's so exciting. I've wanted this plant for so long, and I know that people, I mean, look at this leaf. People usually love it or hate it, I find. Let's do an uptake, because I'm curious myself. These Philodendron melanochrysum cuttings, y'all know that I put the top cut and then 2 of the cuttings that were in moss. Nothing for this one. which was in moss. Nothing for this one over here. And literally nothing with the top cutting with all these nodes. None of these have anything. So I think I'm gonna have to bet that this part, so I'm gonna have to keep this plant submerged, or this part submerged, so the root system grows. But damn, that's a sad update. I'm not gonna remove them, but I guess it's been 2 weeks. So these are the ones that are in LECA, but you can see, look how, I'm not gonna play around with anything. As I say that, I'm just like going down into the LECA. Okay, I can't see anything at all, okay. We're just gonna trust it, we're just gonna trust it. Here comes the sun, doo 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 doo. Here comes the sun, I say. Next, I have my Monstera burle Marx flame. Look at this beautiful cutting. Again, this is one of my top cuttings from one of my bigger plants. I'm forgetting which one. Back in November, I took the cuttings and I put them in water. Now, at the same time, I did treat them with a horticultural oil. I think the oil just leaves a film over the whole plant, which it's supposed to do. But in the parts where it's supposed to push out new roots, it gets so delayed. Anyways, in conclusion, this cutting over here, finally, I was waiting for this. This is what I'm talking about with the other plants that I showed you, but just waiting for a new aerial root that grew out into water, because I know like these roots, like I don't trust, especially if it's coming from like not a node. For some reason, I don't trust it. I trust the ones that are huge. And if you all know, Monsteras have really big root systems or really big roots that come from the node specifically. I wasn't gonna trust this. And actually, I think I'm gonna cut right here because this node, nothing is happening here. And we're gonna finally put a flame in LECA again. You know, all the things that I saw in the past, I do think I overfed it, but who knows? It could have been, again, this plant had white flies and it had flat mites. So it could have been that too. Oh, it's glowing, glow. Oh, it's not Christmas, Kevin. I'm gonna cut. I didn't notice this, but there's actually a node right there. So I might cut above that. Is this risky? Ooh, sorry. But then that's only gonna leave this one and this one. So I'm really gonna have to keep it really wet. We're just cutting here, 3, 2, 1. Oh, yes. Right inside. Now, seeing that it's only one water root and one, semi-activated aerial root, you can keep this wetter. I'm gonna probably put the water level halfway up. Think about it. This plant grew roots and water. So those roots are gonna be fine if they're submerged completely. It's different with the caramel marble because they were used to drier conditions. I mean, obviously I don't know. I didn't grow that plant, but just knowing how cocoa husk and bark and perlite act when they dry out, when they're not surrounded by other components that stay extremely wet, just knowing that part, I know that having the water level extremely high might do more damage than good. So again, case by case. These roots grew in water, so we're gonna put the water level really high. And again, sunny area. I'm probably gonna put this one next to the caramel marble just so I can monitor the two of them at the same time. But look at them beautifully. Okay, update. Did I do this update already? I don't care. I don't care. I'm excited. The variegated Gloriosum over here. Look at how cute it is. It's so cute. I'm not gonna look at the roots. I feel like it's been 3 weeks at this point, maybe 2 since I transferred it into LECA. Okay, so the only thing, which is fantastic, that's definitely new branching from an existing root system. Oh my God, this is hard. Right in the center. That is brand new. You can see the fuzziness that wasn't there before. Yay! Yay! However, I do want to look at the other one, so the one that I cut, because this goes back on what I was saying about assessing, it feels, even though she still feels hydrated, this leaf was so beautiful, even though she feels hydrated, does she have bugs? It does feel a little bit more floppy. Okay, actually, I'm not gonna take it out. Look at this. Same thing as the last one. Wow, look at that. That is brand new. Okay, and you can see how high the water level is. Wow. Okay, I'm not gonna disturb it. That's amazing. I think that's the only one I can see. Oh, y'all won't be able to see, but there's another one. Yay, oh my gosh. Okay, I am going to, I'm gonna pull out my Spiritus Sancti again. Although I'm not a huge fan of moss poles, and you know that I don't like them at all, really. I am going to maintain the moss pole that's attached to my Philodendron Spiritus Sancti just because she's doing really well. And a part of me, I think I mentioned this before, but a part of me, just because I saw that the root system coming out of the LECA didn't look the healthiest, I think part of me thinks that because there's roots in the moss, it might be sustaining the plant. And so, okay, if y'all missed it, this is my beautiful Philodendron Spiritus Sancti. The stem is, oh, these aerial roots are so fresh. See, this is why I want to submerge it. Yeah, there are new aerial roots over here. Oh, the nectaries is the one thing that bugged me. The nectaries. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but oh my God, the nectaries are getting everything. There's fresh aerial roots here. This bag into the pole. Oh my God, the smell of moss. It's kind of nostalgic, don't you think? You see this fresh root over here? It's looking so good. Part of me wants to like just wrap. Should I wrap and put more moss? So there's a root under the plant tape. I kind of want to move it into the moss. You see this one over here? Oh, I heard a crack. Okay. And then there's another one here that I want to guide. Okay, tight, 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 tight. Because when plants get this big, they have a mind of their own. I'm gonna start covering, I think, where's that root? Here. The root that I put in. I'm gonna start just packing moss. Here's the thing, everyone. I know people are probably like saying, oh, Kev, you said you hated putting plants on moss poles, and I do. However, you have to acknowledge sometimes that these things are working for the plant, capitalizing on those opportunities to build a healthier plant. We're all doing our thing. We're all doing our thing. Oh, beautiful. Oh yeah, the leaf, y'all. Gonna be a stunner. She's gonna be a stunner. Look at this. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, we are out in the living room because we are going to finally transfer my Alocasia golden bone babes into LECA. In her prime, my Alocasia golden bone was just like stunner, and I just fell in love with her. Like, it was one of my first plants. It was actually my first videos on this channel, if not the first video on this channel. It was an unboxing of this plant. She's my baby. She's gonna be with me forever, probably. So she's in tree fern right now. Hate it. Yeah, I don't know what this root system's gonna look like. I just threw a bunch of corms into tree fern, so look at this cutie. Roots look great. Now I am gonna rinse off the roots. I did want to separate these. There's some that like I don't feel ready. Like that's a small root system, or I might just get rid of them. Yeah, I might just get rid of them. Let's look at the big roots. See this one. Wow. This is the leaf. Yeah, look at that. This one might be the main one, depending on the rest of them. Ooh, there's some rot here. Don't like that. Ooh, yeah, there's tons. Okay, well, oh, there's so much rot. This root system looks good. Whoa, okay, this one looks good too. Okay, so far there's two that I'm very happy with the root system. Obviously there's some that are like kind of early in there. They're just early. These are the two that I absolutely love. The root systems are really big and there's multiple. The leaves look really good. Okay, so this is one. So healthy. Look at all that. I want to point something out because I, like, for some reason, I get so annoyed when people talk about the direction of, like, which way the corm should face. You can see here that she was facing the wrong way. Look at that. It's growing like this all the way up. Plants will find a way. It's not that serious. And this is the biggest one. And I'd even peel the corms. I hate peeling corms. I am not about it. Nope, nope, nope. None of these were peeled prior. Okay, look at these. So pretty. Oh, my stomach again. Wow, I'm so excited. Look at this. So pretty, everyone. Here is the first one. Yes, yes, yes. Next. Right in here. I'm so excited. These are gonna get so big, I know it. I've done it so many times. Hey, look at this. Look at these. This is very exciting. The two little babies, they're gonna be massive. Okay guys, I guess that's it. So excited for the caramel marble. Like, you know, just standing in here, it's with the sun, it's so much warmer than the living room, like it's probably a 10-degree difference. It is wild. And it's just gonna continue throughout the spring. I mean, it's the beginning of March. Like, I'm really excited. This is when the plants start popping off. I'm so excited. We'll see what happens with that Monstera burle Marx flame. These Alocasias, I'm gonna like keep an eye on them. I really hope the melanochrysums push out roots. I hope everyone's enjoying this extra content that I've been putting out. You know, being a creative and being busy, you need to just want to film or want to do plant stuff. And the past couple weeks, I've been feeling it. I'm really hoping, you know, it continues. Every time I feel this way, I try to take advantage of it. Like, I try to, even though I'm a little bit tired, I'm just like, no, like, this is something that you love. You're so excited about these plants and you're growing a lot of plants in LECA again. I know it's repetitive. I'm sorry if it's repetitive, but this brings me so much joy. And so yeah, that's it. Again, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.